Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Cartels. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Vraja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Vraja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Muna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Vraja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Vraja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Vraja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Vraja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Krishna Janmashtami Ki Jai
Sorry, devotees, please, Car Reggio, QRW603. That's QRW603 and JJK224. You are blocking the driveway to the kitchen. Humbly request if you can please remove your car. That's QRW603, JJK224. Thank you.
So first of all, I would like to wish each and every one of you a very happy Janmashtami. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that these appearance days of the Lord are like mothers of devotion. In other words, that they can give birth to bhakti, they can nourish, nurture, and sustain our bhakti. Krishna Katha that is spoken, or the benefits that from hearing Krishna Katha on these appearance days of the Lord, the benefits are multiplied many times. It is said that when one is speaking Krishna Katha, 3 persons are benefited. The speaker, the person, the audience, those that are listening, sitting in the audience listening, and also the person who is walking through an area where Krishna Katha is being spoken. Of the 3, the speaker gets the most benefit. Because he has to be very attentive to what he's saying. So the more attentive one is to the Krishna Katha, the more benefit that they will receive. So today we are going to be reading from a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, entitled Prayers by the Demigods. Text number 16. I'm going to read the translation and purport to 16 and also the translation to 17 as well, but we'll chant 16. It's on the board. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavan ipi Vishvadma Bhaktanam Abhayankaraha Aviveshang Sabhagena. Thank you. Mana Anang Kudundubehe Bhagavan api Vishvatma Bhaktanam Abhayankaraha Aviveshang Sabhagena Mana Anang Kudundubehe Bhagavan api Vishvatma Bhaktanam Abhayankaraha Aviveshang Sabhagena Mana Anang Kudundubehe. Ladies. Word for word, please repeat. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Api, also. Vishvatma, the Supersoul of all living entities. Bhaktanam, of his devotees. Abhayam Kara, always killing the causes of fear. Avivesha, entered. Angsha Bhagena, with all of his potent opulences. Shad Aishvarya Purna. Mana, in the mind. Anakadundabehe, of Vasudev. Translation and purports by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Thus the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supersoul of all living entities, and who vanquishes all the fear of his devotees, entered the mind of Vasudev in full opulence. Purport. The word Vishvatma refers to one who is situated in everyone's heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridde sherjuna tishtati. Another meaning of Vishvatma is the only lovable object for everyone. Because of forgetfulness of this object, people are suffering in this material world. But if one fortunately revives his old consciousness of loving Krishna and connects with Vishvatma, one becomes perfect. The Lord is described in the 3rd canto, 3-15, as follows. Paravaresho mahad angsha yukto yajopi jato bhagavan. Although unborn, the Lord, the Master of everything, appears like a born child by entering the mind of a devotee. The Lord is already there within the mind, and consequently it is not astonishing for him to appear as if born from a devotee's body. The word avivesha signifies that the Lord appeared within the mind of Vasudev. There was no need for a discharge of semen. This is the opinion of Shripad Sridhar Swami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. In the Vaishnav Toshini, Srila Sanatana Goswami says that consciousness was awakened within the mind of Vasudev. Srila Viraraghava Acharya also says that Vasudev was one of the demigods, and that within his mind the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as an awakening of consciousness. So I'll just read the translation to text 17 as well. While carrying the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the core of his heart, Vasudev bore the Lord's transcendently illuminating effulgence, and thus he became as bright as the sun. He was therefore very difficult to see or approach through sensory perception. Indeed, he was unapproachable and unperceivable even for such formidable men as Kamsa, and not only for Kamsa, but for all living entities. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Korochi Vachalam Pangolege Tegarim Yakripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurundinataranam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are hearing about the Immaculate Conception. Religious practitioners always like to hear about the Immaculate Conception because it instills faith about the mystic powers of God. But today we are hearing about the Immaculate Conception in very universal terms. That it is not limited to one person or two people experiencing this. Any devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can become qualified to have Krishna as their son, or be intimately related to Krishna, just as Vasudeva and Devaki were. So, when the Lord appears in this world, he does so by certain mechanics. There is a process by which the Lord appears in this world. We know, Sambhavam Yatmamayaya, that the Lord comes into this world by his own sweet will. But nonetheless, he himself says in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sa esha jivo vivara prasutihi, that he explains the process by which he appears in this world. He says, the very first manifestation of the Lord in the material world is that of sound vibration. So the Lord says, "Sa esha jivo vivaras prasutihi," that he is speaking about himself in the third person. Sa eva jivo, the one that gives life to all living entities. Sa eva vivaras prasutihi. Yes, so the first manifestation of the Lord is that of sound. We know Shastra says, Binatvan naminamino, that the Supreme Lord is non-different from his holy name. So, first, the sound vibration of the Lord. Then when that sound vibration becomes so powerful and so prominent in our consciousness, in our mind, the sound vibration of the Lord becomes one with our life air. Pranena goshena guham pravishtaha. So the sound vibration of the Lord, it doesn't just become one, it completely takes over our life air, our prana. And in this regard, there's one very nice story about one of Srila Prabhupada's godbrothers, Akinchana Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj. So one time, Babaji Maharaj was renowned throughout the whole Gaudiya Math for his addiction to chanting Hare Krishna. He was completely and utterly addicted, And one time, Babaji Maharaj fell sick. So the devotees, they called a doctor. to come and assess what the sickness was. And the doctor came in and he started taking Babaji Maharaj's pulse. And for a long, long time, he was taking his pulse. And he had stethoscope and checking heartbeat. And after some time, the devotee said, "So, what is your conclusion?" And the doctor said, "My conclusion is that there is no vata, there is no pitta, there is no kapha, there is simply Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." So this is what happens when the sound vibration of the holy name takes over our life air, that we can't breathe without chanting Hare Krishna. Then the next manifestation of the Lord, Manomayam Sukshma Upetya Rupam, that when the sound vibration of the Lord takes over our very life air, then soon after, Sukshma Rupam, the Lord's subtle form, manifests within the mind. This is not a cheap thing. So yes, this cannot be, sometimes people, they do this like Buddhistic style meditation, where, they try to meditate on Krishna, his bodily features, his pastimes. This is the completely the wrong way. This is actually a mockery to try and force the Lord into one's mind. So this Sukshma Rupam, this subtle form of the Lord, it cannot be attained by force. It is by Krishna's choice that he manifests in the mind of his devotee. So the second stage manifestation of the Lord is within the mind in his subtle form, Sukshma Rupam. And then comes the third stage of manifestation, where the Matrasvaro Varna iti stavishtaha, that the Lord becomes manifest in front of our eyes. He becomes visible in his physical form. And actually, many great saints experience this, the Lord becoming visible to their eyes. This is not a sentimental belief. This is a practical science that that devotees can actually see the Lord, who have reached this stage. So in today's verse, we hear how the Lord entered the mind of Vasudeva. How was it? Aviveshangsa. That the Lord entered the mind of Vasudeva. How is it that the Lord entered the mind of Vasudeva? Because Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse, this famous verse from the Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridesha junatishtati, that the Supreme Lord is present within the heart of all living entities. So if he's already there, how did he enter the mind of Vasudeva? So yes, the Supreme Lord is present there within us, within our hearts. But because of our attachments, because of our anatas, because of the dirt within our hearts, we do not perceive him there. So when the heart and consciousness becomes fully purified, 100% pure, then it is as if the Lord enters the mind. And when the Lord enters the mind, it means that he can be tangibly experienced, tangibly felt. Yeah. So this sukshma rupam, this subtle form of the Lord, as we're hearing today, how when this happens, when the subtle form of the Lord manifests in one's mind, one becomes brilliantly effulgent. So much so, blinding to all living entities. And two symptoms that manifest when the Lord comes into the mind. One is that one becomes completely and utterly fearless, and one's mind becomes completely peaceful. There is no chance of agitation. So there are two aspects of Vasudev that I wanted to touch on today. One is that of his purification. So in order for the Lord to manifest to us, we have to become 100% pure, 100% pure. This is very bad news. Very bad news. But we can become pure. We can become 100% pure. Depends all fully on our desire. So, yes, Vasudev, he had to become 100% pure. And we know the story. It's a very tragic story. You know how on Vasudev's wedding day, you know, the wedding day is supposed to be the happiest day of one's life. You know, the bridegroom is completely enamored by the beauty of the bride. You know, everyone's so joyous and celebrating. Huge festivities like this. And Kamsa, the brother of Devaki, very out of affection for his daughter, for his sister, excuse me, he offered to drive the chariot of Vasudeva and Devaki to Vasudev's home. And as Kamsa is driving a chariot, then Akashvani, the voice from the sky, "Kamsa, you fool! Do you not know that the 8th son of Devaki will kill you? You are driving your death." So then immediately Kamsa throws down the reins, grabs Devaki by the hair, unsheaths his sword, and is ready to cut off his own sister's head. Vasudeva is stunned. He cannot believe the sudden turn of events. You know, there is one verse in Srimad Bhagavatam that those who are not devotees of the Lord have no good qualities. You know, this is sometimes difficult to understand because we see that non-devotees, they speak very polite words. You know, they offer us water or fruit when we go to their house. You know, they hold the door open for us. How is it they have no good qualities? But my spiritual master, he reveals this. He explained this. He said that yes, they may show a semblance of good qualities, but as soon as their own self-interest is at stake, then they take off the mask. Then you see their real qualities. And this is, Kamsa exemplifies this. You know, he had what seemingly like a good quality of driving his sister and his brother-in-law. You know, but then as soon as his self-interest was at stake, he revealed his true qualities. So yes, then Vasudeva, he had the sharp intelligence to be able to pacify Kamsa, not to kill Devaki. But nonetheless, Kamsa threw them into prison. You know, they got a minimum of an 8-year jail sentence. You know, in New Zealand you get 8 years for dealing drugs. What was Vasudeva and Devaki's crime? So they got an 8-year prison sentence. And not only that, after every single year when a baby was born of Devaki, Kamsa walked into their prison cell, grabbed the child by its feet, swung it around its head and smashed its head on a rock and killed it. Now, I am not a parent, but I can only imagine the pain and suffering that parents must go through to see their own child killed before their eyes, their own child who they love like their very life. This didn't just happen once. This happened 7 times. 7 times. So this is the purification that Vasudeva had to go through. One may ask, why is it that Vasudeva had to go through so much, Vasudeva and Devaki had to go through so much trial and tribulation? The fact is that we have these attachments and anarthas in our heart, and we are very dear to them. They are very dear to us. You know, we see that whatever is intimately related to this body becomes very dear to us, you know, and we see that these attachments and anarthas, they're mine. They're my attachments and anarthas. You know, therefore, we have to go through some trials and tribulations. Because unless one becomes thoroughly realized that dukhalayama shashvatam, that this material world is temporary and full of suffering, then one cannot take seriously to spiritual life. So Vasudeva, he was very serious. You know, sometimes devotees, they do this driving japa. You know, Vasudeva was not doing this. He was very serious. So, and it was from this experience that Vasudeva, he acquired the purification. Vasudeva was also, the second aspect of Vasudeva I wanted to touch on was his qualification. So it is described that when Vasudeva Maharaj appeared in this world, that everyone was celebrating, even the demigods. There was huge festivities. The demigods, they were sounding their bugles and drums and and there were huge festivities. Actually, the demigods, they were playing this huge drum called an anaka. And this, one of the names of Vasudeva is Anakadundabi for this reason. So the reason why the demigods were celebrating was because they knew a very special, rare soul had been born, had appeared in this world. Because they knew that Vasudeva possessed a very special quality. And that quality was his honesty. Vasudeva was renowned throughout the world for his honesty and truthfulness. So much so that even Kamsa took his word. So this is a very important lesson for us. That unless we become fully honest, specifically honest about not trying to hide our problems, so these two things, these two aspects of Vasudeva, his purity and his quality of honesty, are very, very important. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he used to say, Saralata hi Vaishnavatva, that simplicity is Vaishnavism. That, in other words, they are synonymous. So these qualities of being honest, truthful, and straightforward are very, very important for devotees. And it is by possessing these qualities that Vasudeva came to the platform of Vishuddha Sattva, pure goodness. So Srila Jiva Goswami explains in his Bhagavat Sandarbha that the nature of this Vishuddha Sattva. He said it is the transcendental situation in which the Lord becomes visible. There is absolutely no tinge of matter at all when one comes to this stage of the platform of Vishuddha Sattva. Jiva Goswami explains that when Vishuddha Sattva when one is on the platform of Vishuddha Sattva and the Sat potency, the existence potency of the Lord is most prominent on one's consciousness, then one's life becomes greatly extended. One acquires great longevity and resilience. That is why we hear of yogis living 500, 600, 700 years old. You know, they can extend their life to such a duration by being situated on the Vishuddha Sattva platform, but the Sat potency, the existence potency of the Lord, being prominent on their consciousness. If one is situated on the Vishuddha Sattva platform and the Chit potency, the knowledge potency of the Lord, is most prominent on one's consciousness, then one becomes fully realized in Atma Vidya, in the soul. They fully realize that as a spiritual being, they're different from the body, and they know the complete nature of the soul. If one is situated on the Vishuddha Sattva platform and the Ananda potency, the blissful potency of the Lord, is most prominent on one's consciousness, then bhakti is born. Bhakti arises. Now, if one is situated on the Vishuddha Sattva platform and all three of these potencies are very, very prominent on one's consciousness, then the Lord himself appears. Janmashtami happens. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Prabhupada, they describe how Kamsa is fear personified. That he, more specifically, he represents the fear of the material existence. So, when a person becomes situated in sattva, you know, they develop this fearfulness of material existence. In other words, they don't want to be born again. they know the nature of being full of misery, and everything is temporary. And so yes, Vasudev was very serious about his spiritual practice. And it's described that the prison cell of Kamsa, it signifies the mind of one who knows the seriousness of his situation in the material world. When one understands the nature of this material world and becomes fearful, they put themselves in prison. Let me explain. We put ourselves in prison into an ashram or a temple, and we have these rules and regulations which we follow. No eating of meat, fish, or eggs, no intoxication, no gambling. And these are like the walls of the prison. We know that we cannot go beyond these, otherwise we will fall into material existence. We become fearful. So we put ourselves in this prison of the rules and regulations. And this is likened to this is the process of Vaidhi-sadhana bhakti. Following the rules and regulations, the impetus for making advancement in Vaidhi-sadhana bhakti is fear. So this is one way the Lord appears, through sincerity, honesty, having a fear of material existence, through the process of Vaidhi-sadhana bhakti. But we should know that there is another way, a second way that the Lord appears, and that is through love. That is through greed. Ultimately, Krishna did not appear to Vasudev. What I mean is that, yes, the Lord appeared, he appeared to Vasudev, he said, okay, you've gone through all these trials and tribulations, hello, yes, I'm here. Now, take me to Nanda Maharaj. Take me to the land of freedom. Take me to the land of love. Take me to Vrindavan. How long did he spend with Vasudeva and Devaki? Not even one night. Immediately, take me to Vrindavan. So, we know the story in Srimad Bhagavatam, how the Lord appears to Vasudeva, and then he's taken to Vrindavan. But we know that Krishna does not like rules and regulations. He is very mischievous. He steals butter. He passes stool and urine on the altars of his neighbors. He doesn't like rules and regulations. So therefore, our acharyas, they pose this question that if Krishna is so attracted to love and not to rules and regulations, why isn't it that he didn't just appear in Vrindavan? Why did he appear in the prison cell of Vasudeva and Devaki? So our acharyas have gone to scrutinizingly studying Srimad Bhagavatam to find out, to prove that Krishna did appear in Vrindavan. And Jiva Goswami explains one very beautiful pastime in his Gopal Champu. Parjanya Gopa, the father of Nanda Maharaj, he was ruling Braj for a very long time. And he had 5 sons, Upananda, Abhinandan, Nanda. Nanda was the middle son. Then there's Sunanda and Nandan. So he had these 5 sons. And the time came, Parjanya Gopa wanted to pass on the responsibility of rulership to his eldest son, Upananda. And there was, at the inauguration ceremony of Upananda, there was huge festivities. The residents from Mathura came, all of the Brajvasis, they came for this huge celebration, this important event. And Parjanya Gopa, he took all the royal paraphernalia and took it to, handed it over to Upananda, his eldest son. And without even a second thought, Upananda took the royal paraphernalia and walked over to Nanda and put the crown on his head. These citizens of Vrindavan, they all loved Nanda more than their very life because of his qualities and his devotion. And everyone knew that there was no one more qualified to rule Vrindavan than Nanda. So therefore Upananda, wanted to offer that position to his brother. And we know that Nanda Maharaj, he married Yashoda, and for many, many years they had no child. In Nandagram today, it is well known that Nanda Maharaj was 96 years old when Krishna appeared. And Yashoda Mai was not much younger. So all the citizens of Vrindavan, they were actually very morose, that they saw that Nanda and Yashoda, they so much wanted a child, but they had no offspring. So the citizens, they had an idea, when you want something in Vedic culture, you perform yajna, you perform sacrifice, and in that way you get what you desire. So the citizens had this desire to, they had an idea that we'll perform this huge yajna, we'll offer so much ghee on the fire, we'll invite the best brahmanas to come and chant the mantras. So they organized this huge yajna. And everything was perfect. The time was auspicious. There was so much wealth invested, so much ghee offered in the fire, but the result was 0. No result. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, he said to Yashoda, he said, in this yajna, everything was performed perfectly. The mantras were chanted perfectly, the time was auspicious. Why do you think there was no result? And Yashoda Mai, she didn't say anything. She hung her head low. And Nanda Maharaj said, yes, you know as well as I do that what we want cannot be achieved through yajna. Nanda Maharaj said, sometimes, I see this beautiful little blue boy you know, and he tugs my dhoti. You know, his words, his sweet words are like a shower of nectar. You know, and this boy cannot come to us through yajna, through sacrifice. Nanda Maharaj then had an idea. He said, you know what? We will perform an activity, you know, an act of devotion. You know, for 1 year. For 1 year, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda followed Ekadashi Vrata for 1 year. And it was only after that year of following Ekadashi Vrata very strictly did Krishna appear to them. And it is a fact that Krishna is the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. And when Vasudeva took, it was actually Vasudeva Krishna who appeared in Mathura. And when Vasudeva took Vasudeva Krishna to Vrindavan, Vasudeva Krishna merged into Braj Krishna. This is the truth. This is the tattva. So this is the message that I wanted to share with you today. That there are these two ways in which the Lord can appear to us. Through the process of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, although the Acharyas state that in the beginning Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti is necessary because we need discipline. The conditioned soul in the material world needs discipline. But the Acharyas explain that we should not become so attached to practicing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, that there is another way, and that is through greed, through love, that the Lord appears. Srila Rupa Goswami explains, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavata Mati Kriyatam Yadi Kutopi Labite Tatralo Yamapi Mulame Kalam Janma Koti Sukritana Labite. That pure devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be performed by hundreds and thousands of lives by performing pious activities. It can be purchased by paying one price only. And that is intense greed to obtain it. If one sees it in the marketplace, one should purchase it immediately. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this world not to give us Vaikuntha Bhakti, not to give us Dwarka Bhakti, not to give us Mathura Bhakti. Rag Mag Bhakti Loke. He appeared in this world to give us Vraj Bhakti. The bhakti which is possessed by the residents of Vrindavan. This is the greatest gift, and we should not neglect it. We should not neglect this gift that Mahaprabhu has given us. So I wanted to finish with a quote by Srila Prabhupada about this eagerness, this greed for Srila Prabhupada says, so this eagerness is a very important thing, but it cannot be awakened, but it can be awakened only by the association of devotees. Therefore, we are giving everyone a chance to invoke that eagerness, then you'll see God face to face. This life is meant for seeing Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Krishna Janmashtami Maha Mahotsava ki, Shri Krishna Janmashtami Maha Mahotsava ki, Shri Krishna Janmashtami Maha Mahotsava ki, Jai 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 Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Giridhari Radha, Giridhari Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha, Giridhari Radha, Giridhari Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha, Giridhari Radha, Giridhari Radhe. Jaya Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Shri Krishna. Jaya Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Shri Krishna. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Giri Radha Radha, Giri Radha Radha. Jaya Radha, Giri Radha Radha, Giri Radha Shri Radha. Jaya Radha, Giri Radha Radha, Giri Radha Shri Radha. Jai Shri Shri Radha Giridhari Bhagavan Ki.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam mandar ako ikamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Pasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam Adi Purusham
Jai Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nivasesha Sunyavadi Paschachari Satarine Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada Sri Guru Charana Padma
Kivala Bhakati Sadma Sri Guru Charana Padma Kivala Bhakati Sadma
Evil.
Vandamui Savada